And so doing questions by type can really help both to just distinguish the difference between these two question types and then making sure that your perspective is correct for viewing each of them. But I don't want you to focus too much on doing questions by type because it is also important to make sure that you're properly understanding the stimulus. A lot of times I'll hear from students who say, I don't really notice patterns in my wrong answers or what I'm getting wrong. And then we see that they're already scoring, let's say, in like the low 160s or the high 150s. At that point, you might have a decent foundation in each of the question types. And so you don't notice any particular pattern. Or you might say that you're getting lots of flawed necessary assumption questions wrong. And I'll say, well, that's because there's lots of them to get wrong, right? Like those are some of the most common LSAT question types. So if you're getting them wrong, it could just be because there's a lot of them to get wrong. It's like a sampling bias. So instead, you might want to think about the method of reasoning in the stimulus and making sure that you properly understand it. So we could take a given stimulus and provide a wide variety of question stems to help us change how we look at it. So for example, let's say we have an argument that we should eat at this restaurant because it has a 5-star rating on Yelp. We could ask, what would strengthen that? What would weaken that? What needs to be true based upon that? If we said, we should eat at this restaurant, it has 5 stars on Yelp, what might strengthen that argument? If so, a friend was making that suggestion to you.
If there's like a lot of reviews.
Excellent, perfect. So if we learned that there were 1,000 Yelp reviews and a 5-star average rating, that would strengthen the idea that we should eat at this restaurant. On the flip side, to weaken it, we could say, well, there's only one review. Or we could say, the reviews are all from the restaurant owner's family and friends who maybe are biased a little bit. Or we could say altogether, we don't like the cuisine. We could say, if we frame it slightly differently, we should eat at that, we conclude that we should not eat at that restaurant even though it has 5 stars on Yelp. What might resolve that confusing situation, like a resolve the paradox question, if we learn the reviews were not a reliable indicator, that could explain that outcome for that situation. So playing around with your perspective, I think, is really useful to better understand the argument in the stimulus if the question-based approach is not working for you.